Hello everybody, it's Amy from Winterwood Studio, and I have come across two different really great pens that just blew my mind. So if you like sketching with pen, or if you like doing wash and line with watercolor and pen, this video is for you. They're really special. They're really super special pens. So I think this is going to be a really fun video. We're going to do an ink sketch with one and then a wash and line with the other, and we're just going to have a fun chatty time. So grab yourself something to drink and come on in and let me tell you about my two new favorite pens. Okay. Okay, so you may be thinking, Amy, you're being way too over enthusiastic. I am not. I'm really excited about these pens. So the first one I'm going to show you is called actually, you know what? They're both by Uni. They're both by the Uni company. That's crazy. Okay. Well, I'm not surprised, I guess. So the first one is the Uni Jetstream. Okay, and it looks like a, regular pen. It's a ballpoint pen. Cover my face so you can see it. But what's special about this is that this is lightfast, waterproof black ink. And if you have watched my channel, you know my whole obsession about lightfast, and if I'm working with watercolors, waterproof pens. Almost impossible to find, but this one is. It's really exciting. And then the second one is the Uniball Vision Micro, also waterproof and lightfast. And this is a roller ball. It feels like a gel pen. It is really awesome. Okay, this second one is the one that I like to do line and wash with, and this one I love for sketching. And they're really special. I'm gonna move you from here to here, and I will swatch both of them for you and show you some inking techniques, and then we will do some fun art with both of them. Like I said, I think I'm gonna do like an ink sketch with this, and I think I'm gonna do a line and wash with this, but who knows? It's anything can go Tuesday. So it's totally possible I may change my mind, but we'll move from there, and we'll definitely do two pieces of art. You probably already saw some in the beginning of the video. Like, I like to show the clips at the beginning, so let's go make some art. Okay, so I have a reference photo that I've printed out in black and white. I think I'm going to do a pencil sketch first, even though I've been trying to go right in with ink. I'm gonna do a pencil sketch first today. So I left the sketching in, as people seem to like that in the last video where I left the sketching in. If you don't like it, or if you do like it, leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I forgot I started filming this without swatching the two pens and doing the water tests, so that is coming up in the video. I think it's right around 12 minutes, but I don't know for sure. I'll put in timestamps if I have time, but I am currently filming this at 10:23 Friday. And the video is supposed to be up tomorrow, so yet again, fingers crossed it's not late. I'm thinking about switching my posting time from Saturday to either Thursday or Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time. And I am also wondering what people think about that. So if you could let me know in the comments down below how you would feel about that, I would appreciate it. I'm struggling. I want to spend time with my family on Saturday, but I spend the first 3 hours after the video goes up answering comments, and I'm thinking I would rather do that on a Thursday or Friday night, so that I can spend Saturdays with my family. So I'm thinking about changing it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, back to the pen. So this pen feels like a very thick, creamy type of ink on the pen. It is thicker and creamier than, say, like a Bic pen. And I forgot to film it, but you'll see at the end, I did end up doing a wash over this. This is totally waterproof. I can't remember if I let it dry in between when I finished the sketch and doing the watercolor on. I think I did, because I feel like I
did the wash afterwards as like a spur of the moment thing. So I probably let it dry overnight. So that's something I might want to test more in depth. I do in just a second here swatch and test the inks, but I don't let them dry at all. Like I put them down and then test them immediately. And I think one of them bleeds a little bit, but letting them both dry overnight, I had no problem at all with any bleeding. I do want to test how long it would take to dry as far as like minutes so that I could take them with me for sketching in plein air and doing washes right after I finish putting down the ink. See how long it would take for that.
Okay, so there is my quick pen sketch with my Jetstream pen, and I realized I didn't swatch these, so I guess we'll swatch in between. Let's find a page I haven't. Let's do this. So this is, we'll swatch the Uni Jet pen, and we'll do like this, and we'll do like this. And let's do 1, 2, wet too. I would normally let this dry a little bit if I was gonna do a wash over it, but let's just see what happens. Nothing. That's lovely. Okay, now let's do the Univision one. So this is the Uniball Vision Micro. And I should have done a stippling too. Not to wet, but just because I like to stipple. Okay. And let's try this. So this one did come up a little bit more than the other one, but also I didn't let it dry at all. So if I was going to do pen and ink or line and wash, that's still okay. But oddly, this one, although, you know, just, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about that for line and wash, but I'm very happy with these, both of these, especially for the price. So that was Folktale Week from last week. So there we go. There's that drawing, and I think I'll switch to a different sketchbook to do the line and wash. We'll see which one I pull out. Okay, you guys, I just went to edit the video, and I realized I forgot to show you the watercolor wash I put on here. I think I either lost the footage or I didn't hit film. I don't, but it's gone. So I just did, I think, 2 layers of a watercolor wash on here just to bring a little color into the flamingo, and you can see there is no bleeding, no running of color, no muddiness, no fading of color. I am really happy with this pen, and then we will move on and do the second pen now with some more watercolor. Okay, so here we are with our other pen, the Uniball Vision Micro, and I've got a little sketch I did on my paper. I like to have nice clean borders, so even though this is a block, I taped off the borders. And I'm just going to come in and do some really loose pen and pen sketching. I want this to be, I'm going to do a line and wash with this. So this is going to be, I think I'm going to use my transparent Daniel Smith watercolor palette for this. I found this picture reference photo on Pixabay. I will link it down below. If you would also like to try doing this, I did a little photoshopping and a little cropping and a little simplifying for this. And I'm going to try to keep it somewhat loose. I did, when I was sketching this out, I started using a ruler for the houses, and then I decided I didn't really want it that
tight. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. I did really want this to be more of a line and wash sketch than a actual painting. So we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so as I just said, I did not leave the sketching in for this, mainly because I started being really super detailed and like putting down my lines with the ruler and the vanishing point and everything like that. And then I started feeling like, why am I doing this? I don't want to be doing this. And then just sort of sketched in the rest. So I didn't want to put that in because I don't want anybody to feel like you have to use a ruler and figure out your vanishing points and everything. I'm trying to get away from that. So I had a little backslide there. And I'll be back to talk more about style and why mine is changing too in a minute. I'm going to pop in for some real-time talking here in just a second. Okay, so here we are back again. I let this dry for about an hour. I'm just gonna get rid of some of this pencil. And I've got my palette of transparent watercolors. I can link the video below where I think I did it like an art haul when I got these watercolors and I can link that below so you can see what the exact colors are. I'm 95% positive they're all Daniel Smith, except for these ones right here. I'm pretty sure. So I will link that below, and I am going to get started here. Now, I purposely didn't put in a ton of detail with the pen. I may go back in, especially with the reflections and the rocks, but I will worry about that later. So I'm going to start by wetting the sky. And if you follow my channel, you know I often do mixed media paintings where I start with watercolor and then sometimes I'll go on and add, all sorts of things. Sometimes I'll add gouache and colored pencil and Neocolor 2s and really all sorts of different things. And I usually don't decide if I'm going to do that until after I've finished the first layer of watercolor. So I have no idea what I'm doing yet because this is the first layer of watercolor. This is the Bahang watercolor paper. I've been trying to test it out just a little bit more lately. I've used it in the past, but I haven't done super extensive tests. And this is my Daniel Smith palette. I'm the most familiar with Daniel Smith watercolors because it's what I've used the longest. So I know how they behave, and the paper I'm most used to using is Arches. And I'm just trying to test a little bit more, I guess, what I think of the paper. Do a more in-depth test. I'm gonna soften this cloud area here. Maybe put in a dab more over here. I think I'd like this just to be a little darker up in here. Let's up in here too. I don't want to leave as much bare paper there as I thought I did. Put in some cloud shapes. Okay. And then we'll let that dry for a little bit. I'm gonna leave the rocks so that, you know, they're not touching the wet area to wet. And I'm gonna move on to these houses. I'll switch to a tinier brush, and we're gonna start by putting in the orange of that roof. Okay, so here is voiceover Amy back again. And as I had said in the previous voiceover, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm changing my style a little bit. I have been trying to get looser, and I've been trying to get less tight and less detailed, and I don't think I was clear about saying why I was doing that, because I got a bunch of comments, maybe it wasn't the last video, but the video before, about how I shouldn't change my style just because loose is what's popular and, you know, like that. And that is not why I'm doing that. It actually has nothing to do with that. I have been trying to change my style because I went through a very, very, very long and bad period of artist block after I had my shoulder injury late last fall, and then ended up having shoulder surgery last winter. And when I did start making art again, I was not enjoying my process at all. It might have been somewhat because my shoulder hurt and sitting at my desk for long periods of time was hard. But I think, and I've mentioned this before, somewhere along the line, I went from enjoying really tight, detailed drawings to feeling stressed out by them. And I do think it has something to do with YouTube and having my artwork put on display, as it were, on YouTube. Because I would worry, like, is this realistic enough? Is this good enough? Is this... there was a lot of stress and worry involved. And I mean, when you're trying to do something that's super realistic, if it turns out not super realistic, then, you know, you feel like you didn't measure up to the bar that you set, and you feel like it was a failure. And I was getting so caught up in the details and making it realistic that I was no longer just enjoying, like, you know, watching the color flood over the paper, or feeling the tip of the pen scratched against the roughness, or, you know, the reason I started getting back into art was because I wanted it to be a stress relief, because my mind usually will shut off when I'm doing art, and I will get in the zone, and, you know, I'll look up and it'll be 2 hours later and I haven't worried or, you know, felt bad, or, you know, it just, my brain shuts off. But because I was getting so stressed out about doing the super realistic pieces, my brain wasn't shutting off anymore. I understand, like, you know, this is a YouTube channel, and I've turned my stress relief into, you know, a business, you know, per se, but I still want to have the actual art part of it be, you know, stress relieving for me and not stress inducing. So that is why I've been changing my style. And also I've been taking an illustration class. I'm hoping at some point to do, some illustrating of children's books. And, I know I don't want a super, super realistic style for that. Along with that, and I've said this before on here, I sometimes will feel like when I get done with a super realistic piece, it will feel empty to me. Like it doesn't have any soul, if that makes sense. But when I do a looser piece, and like you can see the marks and the brush strokes, and you know, there's a little bit of me and my point of view in there, I feel more like I feel like it says more than doing, you know, a super photorealistic piece. I want it to say something. I don't want it to be, you know, I want it to show bits of me in it, I guess. So those are the reasons why I've been slowly trying to loosen up my style and move more towards a looser style. It has nothing to do with like being popular, or fitting in with the popular style, and everything to do about my my artist journey and the journey I'm on, and finding a way to make this work for me and provide me the benefits that I need, while still being able to share with you and show you guys what I'm doing on this channel. Okay, so it is the next day. This has dried overnight. I'm gonna keep putting in some details. I think with watercolor, I'm starting to feel like I might want to do some colored pencil on top. This is the paper I almost always use. This is the Arches Cold Press. And this does feel a little rougher than the Arches. So I'm not sure how it's going to handle colored pencil, which was one of the things I wanted to test. But we're going to keep going with the watercolor for now and then see how I feel in a little bit. So I'm just popping in again. I'll be back like in real time to tell you what I think of the pens, but I just wanted to make sure I covered everything. I'm really impressed with these pens. The Uniball Micro Vision pen, after an hour of drying on here, was completely waterproof. I haven't had time to like do tests to see like, is it dry enough after 10 minutes? I do plan to do that, and I'll have to keep you guys updated and let you know what I think. But you know, I've been trying to find an ink to put in a fountain pen that I can take with me for plein air line and wash, and I'm really struggling. I mean, I cannot vary the line weight with these like I could with a somewhat flexible fountain pen, but I'm still thinking these might be a better option for having in my sketching kit for when I'm painting outside with watercolors, because I think that they dry faster and are more waterproof than any of the inks that I've tried so far. Yeah, I think that was what I was going to say. Anyway, I'm really enjoying them, and I have been doing a lot of sketching with them. And also, I've been thinking about my Arttober challenge. The prompt list is up both on Instagram and in the community tab here on YouTube, and I am thinking about mediums I want to do. I haven't done any sketching or planning. I think it's going to probably be a fly by the seat of my pants kind of thing for me again this year because of the health stuff I'm going through, but I am really looking forward to it and hoping to participate at least a little bit, and I can't wait to see what everybody else does. I'm really excited. Okay, so I let that dry. I'm kind of feeling like I might be done with the watercolor. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to put it away, but I want to... So one thing I've noticed about this Bahang paper is that it does seem to have a tendency to feather a little bit, more so than the Arches paper I normally use. I haven't noticed that in the past. I don't know if this is just this particular pad, but it's something I'm going to want you maybe check out a little bit. So as you can see, I'm just putting in some more details with pen. You can see this pen was totally waterproof. It did not bleed, it did not feather, it didn't lose vibrancy, saturation, value, whatever you want to call it. It held up very well to repeated washes of color. I let it dry, I think, an hour before I came in with the watercolors. It does say, I think, yeah, waterproof and fade proof on the side. So I am enjoying these pens very much. They'll be linked below if you want to get your own. I'm just putting in some details here with the pen. I don't know how much I want to do. Like I think I will put the boards in here. And there are like these little do this. I wonder, where's my white gel pen that I like? I wonder if this is gonna be too bright. I like it. These windows have a white trim around them. So I'm just gonna keep going through and putting in some more details with my 2 pens, and then I will decide if I want to add in some colored pencil or not. We'll see. Okay, well, let's do the tape peel, and then I think this little pen and ink sketch is done. Pen and ink. Watercolor wash, line and wash. There, I got the right words. Okay, so there is our little finished pen and wash with a little colored pencil sketch, illustration, whatever you want to call it. I hope you enjoyed the video. So again, we had the Uniball Vision and the Jetstream 101, both from Uni, I believe, yeah. Both really great pens, and light fast and waterproof and cheap to boot. So I will link those down below in case you want to pick them up. Okay, so I hope you liked that video. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if you have any comments, suggestions, requests for a Inktober type of challenge, put them down in the comments. I do read all the comments. I don't always have time to answer to all of them, but I do read them all by myself. There's nobody else helping me, but I do read through all the comments. So comments, suggestions down below, and if you want to join my Patreon so you can be like a part of the challenge when it's time, that's linked down below. We also have weekly sketchbook prompts and or challenges depending on what the month is, and I have a podcast and exclusive videos over there, so feel free to go over there and check that out. If you haven't hit like or subscribe or left a comment yet, I would love it if you did. That is a no cost way to you to help support my channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, happy creating.